host, Josh Greenway. This is the YouTube live show that is all about Scrabble. This week we're doing our 2019 year in review and our very special, well-known, sort of, you know him, you love him. Here's my co-host for tonight, Jackson Smiley.
Hey, it's good to be back. We suited up for the occasion.
That's true.
Yeah, last show of the year. I couldn't miss it since this was the year of my first last show, and now it's my second last show of the year. Just trying to keep it consistent. So yeah, it's a year in review. We have some NASPA awards.
That's right, the controversial NASPAs.
Yes, this is actually one of the controversial episodes of old. We're just bringing it back.
Exactly.
But we're going to go month by month and talk about some of the highlights of the year, and then we're going to intercept every 2 months with a NASPA award.
That is the plan for tonight.
Tuned.
So we're going to move. There are a lot of things to cover tonight.
But before we get into the actual year in review, we want to just talk about a couple things that happened very recently.
Yeah, and hold on. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Bob Bolander says, great entrance. And Josh Jr. says, ugh. So that all seems appropriate.
Yeah, it sounds about right. And Chris Hooks.
So why don't you continue with what you were going to say?
So the first thing that happened this week was the World Championship in Torquay, England, home of Faulty Towers, and we had a very exciting final between Nigel Richards and David Eldar. Much to everyone's surprise, Nigel was victorious in this championship, meaning he was a double world champion this year. I don't know if that's ever happened before. We haven't had 2 world championships in a while per year, so this may be a first, being a double world championship in a year. And I feel like he's definitely come back from, he had sort of a few years where he didn't win a Worlds, and now he's just right back at it in full throttle. So I'm very proud of
Yeah,
Eldar
absolutely. I just want to show
Nigel.
a couple of pictures here. They're going to be a little bit over
Is that
our
Chris
faces.
Light? I think that's Chris Light.
Yeah, well, Chris Light at the WESPA, because it was it was Torquay, right? That was Westpac. They call it, right?
No, this was the Worlds. Mattel
the
World
Worlds.
Championship.
Okay. So Chris Lipe is obviously the new chairperson of WESPA, so that's why he would have been giving out the awards. And the other picture is of Nigel and Syed, who is a 13-year-old who did an amazing job.
We got a new prodigy in town. Mac Meller, step over.
So why don't you talk a little bit about Syed?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never met the guy. I would like to meet him. But he came 8th. He made the quarterfinals, and that was really exciting because, as many people noted online, the way this was structured was that whoever gets in the quarterfinals, you just play a straight up best of 3 match. And Syed was paired against Nigel in round 1. Nigel had destroyed the field in the first 35 games, and yet Syed had the chance to just beat him 2 out of 3 and then make it to the semis. I actually didn't get to see the matches, but I know Nigel only won 2 out of 3 games. Syed won 1 of them, so it was a very close match. Very proud of a young and up-and-coming player.
Absolutely. And obviously we had a very exciting final between Nigel and former NASPA Tonight guest Eldar.
I got up at 6 in the morning to watch it, and it takes a lot to do that.
For sure, absolutely. So that's a big headline for the week. The other thing that we want to touch on, obviously, the world of Scrabble lost a giant this week in David Gibson, and which was, of course, very sad. David, if you don't know that much about David, the one thing that I think he'll one of his legacies is obviously the term that we use, Gibsonization, which, is something that I imagine is going to survive him for a very long time. Nigel was a 2-time North American champion as well. Really, you can say 4-time, because he also won Superstars and he won All-Stars. Both of those were $50,000 purses. And
he also, from, I forget which one, I think the Superstars, he donated his winnings to the people who came outside the top 10 in the tournament, which was pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Certainly featured on ESPN, featured in Sports Illustrated, tons of media coverage, and I know certainly if you've joined Scrabble anytime in the last 10 years or so, kind of that's somewhere around my time frame, all of, a lot of attention is on Nigel as the greatest of all time. I think, David was probably right up there before Nigel started his kind of 4 times in a row and 5 times in 6 years North American champion. So just one of the all-time greats, and really one of the all-time nicest guys as well.
For sure.
One of the things that you can see on the YouTube channel is his speech from his 2016 win. It's really a beautiful speech. He does an amazing job. And anyway, I love that speech.
It was very heartwarming and wholesome. That was very nice. I remember being there. That was just a really special moment. On a very different topic, Kirin O'Connor asks, do winners of NASPs get to give a speech? The answer is yes. We are taking video responses. We will post them as soon as we see them. We actually expect a speech. I think that's in the contract. I hope you read the fine print.
Closing the door on David Gibson. It was a super sad week. We're now going to get into our 2019 year in review. Props to Alec for sorting me out on Westpac versus MSA's tournament. And so let's get into it. We're going to go month by month. So starting with January 2019, we had a very exciting New Orleans tournament. So who were our winners in New Orleans, Jackson?
Well, we had 3 divisions, but we had TWL Open and Collins Open, and I was very pleased to see Josh Sokol win the TWL Open, and a fellow Canadian, somewhat Canadian, Evan Borowski, win the Collins Open. That was pretty awesome. Huge wins for both. Huge good times were had.
Were you in New Orleans?
I was.
2019?
Yes. I was. I came second, actually. Highlight of my year.
Shocking.
It was, it's a fabulous time. There's nothing like Bourbon Street with a bunch of Scrabblers.
For sure. This was my first miss of New Orleans in a while.
Really?
But I've been there 6 times for Scrabble, which seemed like an awful lot. So, but I'm sure I will go back at some point.
Yeah, and also it's happening again in this coming January, and so start looking forward to some flights.
That's right.
Start booking.
Okay, and then we had February
the tournament of the year. No spoilers for the NASPs, but we all know who won. We had the Kingston Open that, oddly enough, we co-organize, the 2 of us, along with Sean Abbasi and Mariam.
Right.
And we had a few winners.
Here are our winners.
We had some cacti. We had some winners. Noah Slackoff, who just pronounced himself the new Scrabble prodigy. I cannot contest that because he absolutely dominated, winning 19-1 in TWL Light. We had Adam Logan. I know you can't see beyond that cactus, but we got to trust that it's Adam there. He also dominated Collins Open, and then I dominated TWL Open. It was straight domination all across the board.
Considering you were one of the directors, I think it was pretty impressive. You first of all 3 of those performances were really dominant, right? Yes. Noah was 19-1. Adam was 18-2. You're maybe 17-3?
18-2.
Okay.
Thank you very much for remembering. But I was definitely focused on the tournament, not on directing. If you want the directorial experience, you'll get that from Josh and Sean. But
exactly.
I'll bingo on you a lot.
Okay, so that was February. It's also important to note we're just about to open registration for Kingston 2020. We're back at
the number 1 hotel in Kingston.
We just did the promo video, but it hasn't dropped yet.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of practice saying the number 1 hotel in Kingston.
Kingston's number 1 hotel, the Residence Inn by Marriott, Water's Edge.
Water's Edge.
All the rooms are suites. Anyway, you'll see that later on.
It's a great video.
You should come join us for that.
That brings us to our first NASPA Tonight award, commonly referred to as NASPs, for no reason whatsoever.
Well, the NASPs, it's like the Tonys or the Emmys or whatever.
Yeah.
So okay, so there are a couple things that are really exciting at the NASPAs. Number one, we had like over 70 votes.
Oh, yeah.
But then all of a sudden we had like over 200 votes.
Yeah,
basically,
like,
we had
quickly.
a hacker.
Yeah, and so what we're trying to ask everyone watching is, who was this hacker? Because not only did they just hack and like the reason we knew they hacked is because suddenly one option, we can say who it is, for the
Best
commentating team, Kevin Balinkoff and the
school Scrabble
team started getting insane amount of votes, like one after another. We're like 89 in a row are for Kevin Balinkoff. We're like, who is this hacker trying to do this? So for deciding the NASPAs, we took out all those votes just out of fairness, but on a curiosity level, we're wondering, who is this person?
Absolutely. So if you have any
else?
leads, we have time codes on these votes. These votes would come in tranches of like 20 votes inside of like 8 minutes. So it'd just be like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
And that happened like 150 times. So someone tried to compromise the integrity of the NASPAs.
This is it's been a lot.
So we've got our eyes out for that person. Okay, let's get to the first award. So the first award is favorite tournament. Now, before you open it, we're going to say where we would have voted. We of course did not vote because we're the hosts of the show.
We are not a corrupt show.
So the contenders were Asheville, California Open, Lake George, Niagara Falls, New Orleans, Reno Nationals, and Cheviac. What was your favorite?
My favorite, I've only been to it once, but it's got to be New Orleans.
Okay, gotcha.
How about you?
Look, I'm pretty biased. It's going to be Nationals.
I mean,
it's really hard to beat Nationals, and personally, I just always have a great time there. I never lose a game there anymore, you know?
Really? Oh, it's a great strategy. And we have the answer.
The winner!
The winner of the best tournament is...
New Orleans!
I predicted it.
Nice job.
Yes, thank you. 1 point for me.
Lila and Kate do a great job there every year.
You get beads. I still have my beads, I think.
Absolutely.
That's the best part. So we're going to keep going after this award to the next month, which is March, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so March was an interesting month for you, Jackson.
Yes, in a sense, not much happened in March, and so we had to focus on... we had to make a narrative out of it.
That's right.
And so March was... What was March?
March was your peak rating for the year. And we've got a couple of pictures from this time. Heidi says Albany was pretty awesome. Thank you, Heidi. This is a good point. Shout out your votes in the comments, please.
Oh, yeah.
This is what we want to do, right?
Yeah, tell us what you think. But also, shout out who the hacker was. More importantly. So that was my peak. And we know NASPA Tonight loves to divulge into my big rating fall and how I fell at Nationals and all these wonderful things.
Well, wait, was it a big ratings fall, or was it that it was just sort of never deserved? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It was just the big evening out of
right.
fate.
On your way to your peak, this was your second place in New Orleans. That's a nice picture.
That was fun. So March was my peak.
We played Poughkeepsie.
Yes.
Did you win Poughkeepsie, or was that another second?
I won.
Oh.
Wait, Poughkeepsie? I don't know. No, I came second.
Yeah, I think Josh won, didn't he?
No, Mac.
Oh, Mac won. Okay. And then, so as will be a theme that may come up more than once, after March, things were a little more difficult, and you started making faces like this.
I know, that's not a very 2100 face. I've seen one.
Well, you don't have one anymore. Okay, so that was our March highlight, because really, there wasn't a hell of a lot that went on in March. Poughkeepsie was fun.
I enjoyed it. It was
for sure.
Cool. Saratoga.
Absolutely.
Gideon Putnam. The subjective Alex says whether he was overrated. I'm surprised people think that's subjective.
Is that a shot?
No, it's a. I was expecting more of a shot from him.
Oh, okay,
but
gotcha.
I didn't get one, so I appreciate it that it's subjective. So moving on to April, we had a few things happen in April. We lost another big member of our community. We lost Annette Tedesco in April.
That's right. So
very sad.
Absolutely, and since that time, we've got Kirin in the comments here, and obviously those Central New York, Upstate New York tournaments have since been taken over by Kirin and I running them, and. Yeah, it was sad times for sure this last year. We did a memorial in July for the July 4 tournament. And of course, we did a whole tribute episode. Kirin was on the show at that time. And of course, we just have some lovely pictures of Annette to share. This was taken by Roger Coleman. We've had this blown up, and it follows us around at these tournaments. Here's Annette with Seth, so nice. Just amazing. Here's Annette at July 4 wearing her stars and stripes. Here's sort of some of the former team. Kirin, I don't think, is in the photo here, but there's Ross Brown. Here's one of Annette and I. It's not the best picture of me, but it's like the best picture of Annette that I could find.
Wonderful.
And then
I love this slideshow.
And then there's Annette.
What
with
are you saying?
Joy
It seems
Malik.
like you're saying a word there, Josh.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm saying. Anyway, I certainly miss Annette. But it's also been an interesting challenge to take over those tournaments. We've got New Year's Eve coming up, and then Saratoga, and then we just go right back in. One of the things that I did not anticipate was between Kingston and those 4 upstate New York tournaments was just what a grind running 5 multi-days a year is. Obviously, we have lots of directors who run multiple tournaments. We're gonna vote on everybody's favorite director of the year later, but it's a grind for sure.
Yeah. Annette has been reincarnated in Kirin. Yeah, one of the best things about Annette, if you haven't met her, is her incredibly raspy voice that you could hear from a mile away. I will miss that tremendously.
Absolutely. So love you, Annette, and Kirin. We'll see you soon at New Year's, and I hope everybody comes out to New Year's. So,
also, just funny thing, while you're doing that slideshow, Josh and Alec were just talking about how Alec's beef with me needs to be squashed or squooshed. Once and for all, we need to play a series. So.
A series would be good, but
Alec,
I actually think we need more beef in Scrabble.
I don't think we need to squash our beef. Let's continue the beef and highlight it.
Absolutely, I love it. Let's stream that
It's gonna
stuff.
happen, Alec.
Okay, let's also talk about, in April 2019, we had the North American School Scrabble Championships.
Throwback
and you played a role in that.
Yeah, I did. A while ago, but also this time. Josh and I and Kevin Balinkoff, you may remember him from the Hacker
scandal.
Voted for him for the best commentator like 150,000 times. And we all went down to Philly and commentated with Will Anderson for the School Scrabble Championships, and aforementioned prodigy Noah Slatkoff was victorious.
Let's take a look at the team there. Yeah, there's the winning team. There's Noah.
They I must say, like, the caliber of School Scrabble play has increased so much. If I had played this year when I was in grade 8 level, I would have been absolutely destroyed.
That's because you were overrated back then.
I was clearly overrated. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and then here's the commentary team. As we can see, Jackson's hair was on point and about 6 inches beyond his face. There's Kevin Balinkoff and there's Will Anderson.
That's only because I don't wear a helmet when I bike ride, so I need something.
You don't need an umbrella with that hair.
Moving on. We have another NASPA for everyone.
What's our category this time?
This category is the biggest breakout player.
Okay,
so because we've been talking with prodigies with Syed
that's
and
right.
Noah.
So the nominees were Bryn Bowen, Jack Peters, Jared Kaplan, Noah Slatkoff, and Sam Kaplan. We've had 4 out of the 5 on NASPA Tonight, maybe 3 out of the 5. I don't know if Noah's actually been on. I feel like we talk about him all the time. But now, before we reveal, who would your breakout player be?
Oh, yeah. I would say Noah Slatkoff. I'm just remembering back in Kingston when he was like 1,100, and now he's an expert.
That's right. We never should have raised the cap on that division. What I was going to say is, just to give a different take, my breakout player would be Sam Kaplan.
Oh, yeah.
He's appeared on NASPA Tonight a couple of times recently and has won, like, I don't know what it is, 5 of his last 8 tournaments or something like that. He's just piling them up and recently hit 1,600. So,
Congrats.
pretty good.
Congrats.
So, let's see. Who is the winner?
The winner is Noah Slatkoff.
Noah Slatkoff. All right. Congratulations to Noah.
I expect
we
to
should
hear
have
your
some
speech
music
very soon.
or something
Yeah.
for this. Okay. How about this? Acceptance speeches in the comments.
Yes.
So, Noah, if we could get a couple of sentences from you, if you want to thank your public and explain how you managed to pull off this feat, that would be great.
So, moving on.
What month are we in?
We are now at May, a wonderful month.
Yes.
We had a few things happen in May. The first one was, I don't remember this personally because I was gone by then, but NASPA Tonight's Jeopardy episode.
Oh, this was a really fun one.
Because as many of you know, there's tons of Scrabble players who've been on Jeopardy. Apparently people who like memorizing words also like memorizing facts.
That's right.
I don't see the connection, but it's there.
So let me set the scene, since you really didn't see that episode at all.
Right.
Okay, so this was at a time when James Holtzhauer was just absolutely dominating, right? Almost at the precipice of winning the most money ever on Jeopardy in an astonishingly few amount of games. So we had the amazing Andy Saunders on, who runs the Jeopardy Fan, which is a website that is dedicated to all things Jeopardy. And he was a fantastic guest. He gave us all sorts of insights. On that site, he and his team put together like custom stats on Jeopardy and stuff like that. So we looked at this comparison between James Holtzhauer and Ken Jennings. So it was really interesting. And then at the end of the episode, we had on, I think it's nine-time winner Jason Keller joined us. Jason Keller, who won a lot of money playing Jeopardy, was a 9-day Jeopardy champion. So he came on, talked about his experience. The two of them talked. I, asked questions because I don't know that much about Jeopardy. Like, I like Jeopardy, but anyway, it was a fantastic episode. And as Jackson said, we got to highlight some fun pictures. Frank Tangretti was on Jeopardy. This is not a picture from Jeopardy. That's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Okay. Jason Idelsky, and we'll get into his recent game show appearance. Here's Amanda Borofsky with her 2-day win. And here, of course, is Jason Keller, 9-day champion. Just amazing. Keller, a very frequent guest on NASPA Tonight, always does a great job. So that's what we did with Jeopardy. If you like the sound of that episode, you can always find back episodes of NASPA Tonight on the YouTube Scrabble page, the one that you are on right now. So, okay, and then because we're talking about game shows, we should also talk about Jason Idelsky, right?
Yeah.
What show was he on?
So he was just on Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
Is the one where you guess words from letters.
You don't know what Wheel of Fortune is?
I just explained it. Of course I know it. And he did very well as far as I know.
Do you know how much he won?
He won $68,000. And a trophy.
No, a trip. A trip to
really?
Hawaii, I
That's
think.
So good.
Or Oahu, which I think is Hawaii. Awesome. So here he is. Here's a picture.
Oh,
here he
so
is
happy.
with Pat Sajak.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, he's
over the moon.
He just absolutely killed it, man. Here's another shot of Jason. So that episode, as of a few days ago, was still up on YouTube. We should really link to that underneath, but apparently it's going to come down at some point. But if you want to, I don't watch Wheel of Fortune all that often. Although when he was on, I ended up doing a deep dive. Do you know how long Vanna White has been turning letters on that show? If you had to guess?
25 years.
40 years.
Really?
40.
That's crazy.
40 years.
That's awesome.
We'll see where NASPA Tonight is in 40 years. Okay. All right. So that was, anyway, congratulations to Jason Idelsky. Awesome. That was super fun. And he had a great post today that just talked about how one of his competitors, who he just thoroughly trounced, was like super congratulatory and stuff like that. Nice. So check out Jason Idelski's Facebook page if you want to see a feel-good story about being on Wheel of Fortune. Okay, what's next, Jackson?
Next, another thing that happened in May, on a personal note, is I went tree planting, which
really
everyone predicted.
I didn't hear anything about that.
It's like no one talked about it. What's wrong with everyone? And as many would say, they predicted that was the downfall of my Scrabble rating, which it eventually was. But it was a very fun time.
Oh, wait, you're admitting that it was?
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm undecided.
That sounded like an admission to me. Breaking news here on NASPA Tonight.
Anyways, it was a really fun time. Didn't play much Scrabble during it.
Right.
Just one drunk game by a bonfire.
I see.
And it was a great time. Planted some trees.
Look at this. You can see that Jackson is really tiny in this photo. But tell us what's going on in this photo. That's actually a tree
I planted. I'm sitting on. No, that was a rock I was sitting on after planting trees one day. I was just chilling on the rock.
Okay, and explain this. What is going on here?
This is me playing.
This looks like you're in a bunker of some kind.
Yeah, this is like we call it a mess tent. It's like where we eat food and hang out. Mm-hmm. And this is me playing my favorite game, actually. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called chess.
Wait, chess is your favorite game?
New favorite. Switching teams.
Switching teams.
There's a lot of great references.
More
there.
breaking news. Okay, so you went tree planting.
That was May, yeah.
How many trees do you think you planted?
I counted. It was like 73,000.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Man, oh man. Well, what's going to happen next year?
A few more, maybe. Hopefully.
Wait, you're going tree planting again?
Yeah, I'm going back.
Oh, yes. God.
I haven't learned my lesson.
Kiss Baltimore goodbye. Okay.
I'm donating Baltimore to Alec once more. That's all it is.
Okay, so what is next? I think we're moving on to the next month, which is June.
June was quite the month. We had one of the best tournaments of the year. You could say almost as good as the winner of the NASPA. This was Niagara Falls, which is...
I don't think I have a picture.
Oh, that's okay. Well, we all know the Niagara Falls experience. You got a big thing of water. You got some Scrabble.
A big thing of water?
Like the falls.
Oh, yeah. Niagara Fizzy, I like to call
it. The water's flat, though. It's not bubbly. But anyways...
frothy. Certainly frothy.
The winner of this Collins International Tournament was Adam Logan, which was pretty awesome. I feel like it's always such a high-class tournament. Crazy fields. Did you go to Niagara Falls?
I visited.
Nice.
I didn't play. I didn't work. I just said hi to people.
That's down and down.
That's my Scrabble life now, I think. I just try to show up places to keep up appearances. Niagara Falls, this was the second year that it was a Collins-only event. Jason and Sue do a fantastic job with that tournament. Really well run. Kirin, of course, who's in our comments tonight, plays a big part in that tournament, as well as some extended family and stuff like that. So, Niagara Falls is great. If you play Collins, you should definitely check it out. Or if you want to try Collins, you should do that. Hello to Cheryl Keegan, by the way. Cheryl, I hope you're doing all right. Nice to see you. Okay, so that was Niagara Falls.
I think we got another NASPA coming up.
We do, although there was one more thing I wanted to mention.
Yes.
So in the month of June was also the NASPA AB elections. Now we're both on the advisory board. You wouldn't necessarily know it.
You would never guess. One of us is like an accidental member. Won't say who.
But for these elections that happened in June of 2019, there were not enough candidates to hold any elections.
That's wild.
So that means in 2019, it's still 2019 today, right? That there were more votes for the NASPAs than for the advisory board elections.
Yeah.
So that's something.
I know. That's kind of crazy. We'll do some stats on that one.
I know. We're going to ask John Chu how they prevent the AB elections from being hacked. And so Kevin Balinkoff is not whatever. Okay, let's go.
That leads us to our next category. This was the hacked category. Where
That's
we had
right.
100 million votes for Kevin Balinkoff.
Yes.
Not that he didn't deserve it, but it was just kind of... Who's hacking this? Who's hacking the NASPAs? Tell
exactly.
us. If you just joined us, we had a NASPA hacker we're not gonna lie to you. Someone
That's right. We had like 70 legitimate votes and 150 votes that all voted for the same commentary team.
Yeah.
So the smart money is on somebody who's invested in school Scrabble.
Yeah.
Aren't you a former school Scrabble champion?
Yeah.
Weren't you part of the broadcast?
I was on the hacked team. I know it looks suspicious, but I can't hack.
That's what I'm saying. It looks suspicious. Okay, here are the nominees for favorite stream commentators. Conrad Bassett-Bouchard and Robin Pollock-Daniel. Jackson Smiley and Josh Jr. Sokol. Now, this was for... Oh, this is for this, right? Did you guys commentate anything else?
Yeah.
Okay. Jason Katz-Brown and Jesse Matthews for Alchemist Cup. Kevin Balinkoff and School Scrabble Team. And Morris Greenberg and Will Anderson, who I think did a bunch of the New Orleans.
I think they did, yeah. And we have some winners.
Wait, who was your favorite team?
I keep forgetting.
Jesus.
My favorite was Kevin Balinkoff and the School Scrabble Team.
But again, it's very suspicious. Everything is very suspicious here. My favorite, I gotta say that my personal favorite when it comes to commentary has got to be, listen, I love both Conrad and Robin, but Conrad makes me laugh my ass off because he's just the right amount of expert, and he can be very caustic is what I would say. I was going to say something else, but anyway, Conrad frequently makes me laugh with his commentary, so that's who I'm going to say is my favorite. And during Nationals, sometimes when Conrad takes a break, I get to go in and sit next to Robin and do a little patter, and she's always very generous with me.
That's great.
Okay, so who is the winner of the NASPA favorite commentary team?
Morris and Will.
Morris and Will.
And neither of us predicted it. Neither of us agreed.
I know.
But I actually think they're an amazing commentary duo. I feel like they play off each other really well. Like, they ask each other questions and, like, sort of like bait each other into responses.
Yeah, I think they definitely have a unique style for sure. And I would say it's probably a little more low-key than some of the other candidates there. But they also have some very interesting ideas for engaging with the audience and stuff like that.
Very interesting Scrabble players themselves.
For sure. So congratulations to Will. And I don't know if Will's joining. Will is probably not watching because he's on his honeymoon. That's right. Yes. Congratulations to Will. He got married, I think that's last Sunday. Yeah.
And then that moves us on to July.
July 2019.
We had a lot going on.
Why is July one of the best months?
Well, firstly, we had King's Cup, which is, I've never been there. I'd love to play.
I know. I'm going to go to King's Cup one day. I just don't know when.
Exactly. That's
July is typically, like, July or August is Nationals. Yeah. And there's also July 4. So you really got to thread the needle.
Exactly.
You know?
But
go ahead.
Some people didn't. For example, Jesse Day, which was one of his first second place finishes to Nigel. And
look at here are the two competitors here.
One thing I was noticing today is, like, I feel like this year Jesse has started to look really serious in these finals. Like, there's no more smiling Jesse. Like,
in these pictures, you mean?
Yeah, in these pictures, he means business, but especially in the finals.
Especially in this picture.
Yeah, like, this is the stare of death. I do not.
That's
want to
right. Exactly.
And so congrats to Nigel. I feel like he's just dominated this year. Any doubt that was cast on Nigel, on the GOAT, has been just destroyed.
Yeah, no, well, we did a whole episode on, is Jesse Day the second best player in Scrabble?
We didn't say who the first best player was.
We didn't need to.
Knows.
Okay.
And then we also had the North American Scrabble Championship.
Yes, we did.
Which was a very fun time. Highly recommend.
Absolutely.
We had a couple winners as well. One
That's
of whom
right.
is in the chat. One of whom I'm going to play in
Well, why
don't
we, let's talk Collins first.
Yeah, Collins was a great field.
We had Jesse Day was the winner.
I know he tried hard to come second again, but he did not.
And look at this. Here's your smiling Jesse picture.
Now that he's won,
he and Austin right there.
Yeah. So
I thought this was not a bad picture of me. I know most people would not see me in the picture. But yeah, Jesse and Austin was a great competitor, and I think those guys had a really good time.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool division. We had the finals format, which we hadn't had for a long time. just the finals in this NASC. And then in the TWL division, we had
the big money, the big check.
Alec Seaholm. Another
Alec, congratulations. Absolutely.
That was a pretty huge win. Pretty awesome.
Here's Alec and his dad at the award ceremony. And then his opponent, Carl Johnson, who
came second.
Yeah, I'd never met Carl before this NASC.
Cool.
I don't know if I met. Oh no, I had met Alec and interviewed him and stuff like that. But Carl is an interesting guy too. So they had a fun final for sure.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It went right down to the wire.
2-1.
Well, there was a best of 3. That's pretty much
you can't
the
get
wire.
much closer. Yeah, just like the wire of playing King's Cup. The same sort of
thread the needle.
The wire in the finals as well. And then we also had my favorite co-host won a big award. He didn't get the fat check, but he won the award, which matters a lot more.
Now you know what I did get. I did get one of those tableau things.
That's pretty cool.
Where they wrote, what does this say?
I don't know. Our proud person of the year is our keen bottler of vivid social media and quite tantalizing gab, Josh Greenway.
Tantalizing gab.
Tantalizing gab. That's what you're doing now.
I've never heard such a compliment in my life. There I am at the mic.
Yeah, the AB
so that was something else that happened.
Yeah, the AB found Josh guilty of being the person of the year. So congrats to him. And
now, following all of that madness at Nationals is the annual event that happens in August 29th. Well, in August every year, and that is a massive Scrabble hangover. Nothing happens. There are no big tournaments. There are no big events. I basically stopped working on anything. So nothing happened in August.
Yeah, August is great. I love the NSA hangover. And it's great. You just take a month off studying if you're preparing for nationals. You take a month off creating videos if you're doing what you do.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It reminds me of the day after nationals, which is the truest NASC hangover when everyone vanishes and you're like, what is going on? It's like the best summer camp has ended.
It reminds me of senior day. That's what it reminds me. You don't know what that is?
Not there yet.
That's when you're a senior in high school one day.
Oh, that.
When your marks sort of no longer matter, all your stuff is sent off to university. That's what that refers to.
That's funny. Yes.
Okay, it's time for another NASPY. Let's go, Jackson. Man. What's the next category?
Best director.
No, favorite director. Favorite director.
And
this is a big category.
Yeah.
Here are the nominees: Art Moore, Connie Creed, Dan Horowitz, Kirin O'Connor, and Sue Tremblay. Some people ask how we came up with this list. Do you remember how we came up with this list?
I didn't come up with it either.
We both came up with it. But we were looking for directors who hosted multiple multi-days.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go. So who would your vote go to for favorite director? And before we reveal, tell us who you voted for.
Yes.
Or who we should have nominated. Who got snubbed in the comments right now. Who would you vote for?
I would have voted for Art Moore. I've only played in the nationals that he's directed, but he has a pretty funny way of making announcements. That's pretty important to me as a player.
That's good. Yeah, it's pretty tough for me to answer any other way than you should have voted for anyone except Kirin O'Connor. That's what I would say. Kirin I have to put up with 4 times a year for multi-days. And I reluctantly will say that he does a pretty good job. And he is one of these guys who's never played Scrabble, but is a Scrabble director. There aren't that many of those. So I think I would have been forced to vote for him, although I really like the job Sue does as well.
Yes, most directors are competent, as I've noticed. But the most
who is the winner?
The most favorite of people's is Kirin
There we
O'Connor.
go, Kirin O'Connor. Congratulations.
Kirin. Well deserved.
Nice job. This was a particularly close race, actually.
Yeah.
This one. Okay, what month are we up to?
I think we are on to September.
September.
Pretty recent.
We're into the back.
Some of these things.
We're into the back third of the year, people.
Yeah. Get ready.
And it's not even December yet.
So in September, we had the big Ottawa tournament, directed by Sue Tremblay.
Absolutely. So you should definitely consider checking out. This is the Ottawa Labor Day tournament.
Yeah, and this year they're combining it. It's like the weekend after Niagara Falls.
So you
can have this bonanza of Scrabble games, play Niagara Falls, 16-game late bird, play Ottawa early bird, play Ottawa main event, and just sleep afterwards.
Right.
I'm going to do that for sure. You should join.
You're playing both?
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, so we also had Ottawa this year, Labor Day.
That's right.
It was
and we
fun.
had some, not surprisingly, in the nation's, in Canada's capital city, we had a bunch of Canadians win.
Yeah.
So you want to read off the winners?
So the winners were Adam Logan and in Collins and Matthew Tunnicliffe and T.W. Bell, both of whom are from Ottawa. So Ottawa was pretty dominant. And also Heidi won.
Heidi in the comments.
Also from Ottawa. So Ottawa was really
cleaned up,
owning their turf.
And then somebody came in and ruined everything.
Yeah, some person of the year. He
That's right.
sandbagged into Division 3.
I think I won 2 tournaments this year.
Yeah.
And I barely played any, I feel like.
We just visited a bunch of tournaments.
That's right.
Said hi.
That's right. Some of those I won too.
So that was pretty fun. Ottawa's always cool. Yeah, sorry, we only cover like Northeast tournaments. Probably just because that's what we go to. It's like, I'm sure Washington was great. Just send pictures.
Yeah, please. We need more pictures. We need more guests. If anybody ever wants to be a guest on this show, because Jackson only comes out for the big episodes anymore because he's such a big shot, please let me know and we'll bring you on the show and we'll have a good time.
Yeah. Then that brings us to October.
If
you remember, that was the previous month from this one. We had...
From the current one?
From the current one, yeah. The one we're in, as Alec so keenly pointed out. We had the 2020 championship reveal for the NASC.
That's right. And we have a video clip of that reveal happening.
How about we re-reveal?
Yes.
And then someone re-reveal whether that's valid.
It was fun. Here we go.
If you're ready for it, I'm ready to give it to you.
All right, everybody. This is the big moment. Oh, look at this. We're going to get...
We are going to Baltimore,
Whoa!
everyone.
Baltimore!
Baltimore.
That's amazing. So it's Baltimore, August 1st through 5th. Is that right? Is that what I saw on your
That is correct.
Facebook event? Okay, well, if it's Baltimore, there's one person that I think of from Maryland who I think should join the conversation here. I want to introduce everybody to...
Marlon?
And of course, we would go on to reveal who that special guest was, and it was the amazing Cheryl Keegan who joined us tonight in the comments. I don't know if she's still watching, but mad props to Cheryl for helping put the whole deal together. Really, I think the force behind the scenes of what I think is going to be a really cool national. So if you're making your plans for 2020, as we look back on 2019, as you look forward, consider playing Baltimore. Are you going to be there?
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm for sure. I'm for sure going to be there.
So we also had Lake George, which is another one of Annette's tournaments.
Boy, October was busy.
That was a month. So many things happened. And we had a couple winners as well.
That's right.
The winner of the TWL division
was Cesar.
Cesar, by winning this tournament, that's what got him his 10-game winning streak against me.
Wow.
That was even prouder for him than the tournament win. Clearly.
I'm sure.
And then we also had a Collins division and Jason Keller, Jeopardy champion, NASPA Tonight guest.
I do want to say one thing. I feel like Jason Keller should have been nominated for favorite NASPA Tonight guest of the year, and he wasn't. He wasn't on the list. That's an oversight for sure, because Keller does a fantastic job.
And you never get a better internet connection than Keller.
Oh,
just trust us on that one.
It's not just about internet connection; it's production quality.
Yes.
Like everyone else who comes in remotely, I make them test. I do like a connection test. Keller is welcome on anytime. Keller, if you're out there, just like message us and you can come right on. Okay.
We had one more thing. We had the first of 2 World Championships of the fall.
Yes.
In Goa, India. And this was the second time, I think, that Nigel and Jesse met in a finals. And once again...
There they are. Look, another serious look.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah.
This is a conspiracy theory that he's trying to change his expressions. And...
Sorry, just reading the comments.
It's been pointed out.
Alec, I'm working on it, all right? I got the first name
Cesar
down.
del Solar, I think. But yeah, once again, Nigel was victorious, adding another championship to his belt. To his
For sure.
pack.
And another just look, Jesse Day, another multiple-time guest on this show, really had an amazing 2019, even though we keep showing him with second-place finishes.
Yeah, second place is respectable, I would argue.
We saw a lot of second places from you, too.
And that brings us to another
NASPA. Now this is a controversial award.
Oh, it was, yeah. Well, I mean, the whole idea of the NASPAs was a controversial topic.
Yeah, I think we should talk about why we are holding the NASPAs.
Sure.
So whenever we do a show, right, we try to find ways to promote it. So going back a year ago or so, over a year ago, we had the controversial topics where we did 8 weeks in a row or 10 weeks in a row of controversial topics. And then we would put out these polls, and then everybody would just explode with comments and debate and all that stuff. And then we felt like those people would then watch the show. And I think a few of them did. Maybe not that many, but a few of them did. So anyway, we try to implement strategies to get people to watch the show. But also we think the NASPAs are going to be a fun thing, and probably we'll do them on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
This was one that we got a big reaction to.
This was a bit different than the controversial topics, because the controversial topics, the controversy was in the topic itself, but in this one the controversy was the fact that this topic was included, or the fact that this thing happened, that we included the favorite couples, or also some other
and
things. The issue is that there's obviously like a favoritism element, and also favorite couples can also just get really messy with other things. That being said,
are we going to skip the category?
I personally don't want to skip the category.
All right.
But...
Well, let's go quickly. I don't think we should announce favorites or even go through the list. Let's go ahead and announce who won. How about that?
I mean, okay, sure.
Well, go ahead. Do whatever you want to do.
All right, okay. I'll announce the winner.
And the NASPA goes to...
Chris Lipe and Randy Goldberg.
Congratulations to those two. Chris Lipe had a big year moving to head up WESPA. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that is cool.
For sure.
Congrats.
Okay. Let's move on to November. That's the month we're in now. That means the show is almost over, guys.
That means this show is one of the things that happened in November that we're going to remark on. Stay tuned. The first thing that happened was Asheville. That's a tournament I think is on everyone's bucket list. I hear it's very pretty there. Josh went down there for the first time.
Yeah, I wonder if it's on everyone's bucket list. So I did a show, and the title of the show was Why Asheville May Be the Best Tournament That You've Never Heard of. Because there are a lot of people, when I said that I was going to Asheville, they were like, where? What are you talking about? What did you say? Nashville?
Nationals? Yeah.
No, Nashville is what they thought. So Asheville is one of those tournaments that kind of quietly attracts 100 people every year. And it's a big tournament. And I had a hell of a time down there. I really enjoyed the people, the staff. I mean, geez Louise, we think we have a big staff for Kingston for this Asheville. There must be 10 people who volunteer and contribute in different ways. And it featured one of our buddies who
came out of retirement.
Came out of a 15-month layoff from Scrabble. Yeah, absolutely.
Joey Kravchuk.
And
he came back in style.
That's true.
By winning the tournament.
Yes.
This is
neither of these photos are correct.
But
they should
you
both
can still recognize him. We know who it is. And I was glad to see him come back out and play a tournament.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a pretty good showing. So I definitely want to check out that tournament at some point.
Yeah, no, I would highly recommend Asheville. The people, like the hospitality down there is so amazing. One of the things that I still haven't had a chance to do, and I feel like maybe I've missed it a bit, and I'll probably just do this personally, but I wanted to thank Bill Snoddy and his whole team, and especially Michelle Davis and Carl and Michelle Davis, who hosted me and like drove me places, and
so
Joey as well drove me around. I mean, these
Did
people
he,
could
charge
not.
you?
No, he did not. These people could not have been nicer to me, and it was fantastic. So I would encourage everybody to check out Asheville.
Yeah. We also had the World Championship, the second World Championship, happen in Torquay, which we sort of mentioned earlier, but another quick time. We had another dominant performance from Nigel facing David Eldar in the finals. It was a really exciting match. And here are the same pictures that we used off the top.
Yes. There didn't seem to be a lot of pictures. Like, there were some great videos. I saw Sumble with an interview of Syed on Facebook today. That was just a wonderful interview. And they do a great job with their streaming down there. So, kudos to them. World, Congrats to Nigel.
Yeah. I know you're watching. Please comment who the hacker is, Nigel. We know it's you. Just tell us.
Do you think Nigel knows who Kevin Balinkoff is?
Yeah, I think they're tight.
Okay, good.
Anyways, we have one more month to talk about. And in this case, as you may have guessed, like, what's going on? Like, we're only in November. How are you going to do a year in review when December hasn't happened? But we're going to anticipate what's going to happen.
The highlight of December.
We already know. We talked.
Yeah, no, it is a good point. So there's not going to... Normally there would be a NASPA Tonight, probably mid-December or something. But just there's lots going on. We've got the New Year's tournament coming up, stuff like that. So that's why we're doing the year in review now. And then we'll come back sometime in January or whatever. Got to take some time off. You know, there's a lot on my plate and a few things on yours. So... now, I do want to encourage, so for the month of December, I'm sure we're looking forward to Albany and the New Year's Eve tournament, and I'm going to take this opportunity to suggest that you come on out for 43 games. You can play 43 games of Scrabble for just $135. How about that?
That's a nice looking flyer. I didn't see that.
I made that on my phone.
Amazing. Wow. But I'll be there for all 43 if you want to join.
Absolutely.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, so you should definitely come out to New Year's. And you'll get to see Director of the Year, Kirin O'Connor.
And also, you may see Guest of the Year.
Oh, we've got one more NASPA.
Just maybe.
Okay, this is a... Hold on. This is a big category.
We need an introduction.
This is the NASPA Tonight Guest of the Year. The nominees are Cesar Del Solar, Josh Jr. Sokol, Will Anderson, Jesse Day, and Jason Keller should have been on this list. I apologize. Oh, one of the things that we didn't cover was all the amazing write-in votes that people put in.
Yeah,
one of the reasons that I talk about Jason Keller is there were multiple write-ins for Jason Keller on this list, non-hacker. So anyway, that's why I say that, and love you, Jason. So this is a big category.
Yeah.
This is the guest of the year. We're doing this by votes. I know. Well, who would your guest of the year be?
My guest of the year would be Josh Sokol, but not Josh Jr. Sokol, just Josh Sokol.
Isn't that his nickname?
Depends who you ask.
So. Josh Sokol, no question, always brings it to this show. Some people question what he brings to the show, but
I like what he brings. It's different every time.
I know it's definitely fun.
Different things.
Absolutely. I would say my guest of the year. I would say as not only on-air talent. You know, I know that's a stretch calling myself that, but not only on-air talent, but also kind of producer and director to some degree. I'm saying Jason Keller because Keller comes prepared. He's ready to go.
That's true. On this end, on the back
end,
end,
he's launched out of a cannon when he's on the show. Always has stuff to talk about. Always has great insights. So there you go. Oh, Heidi loved Matt. This is very good. please tell us who your guest of the year was. We had so many great guests this year, actually.
Yeah. I'm sure,
Oh my
I'm
God.
sure we did.
You never watched.
I missed a couple.
You never watched the show once.
No, I heard about Matt being on, and that was exciting. But we have a winner to announce.
Okay.
We had some votes. We had 68 real votes, not including the hackers.
Who was it? Will Anderson.
We expect your speech on Facebook shortly.
That's right. Or in the comments now. Oh, right. No, he's on the honeymoon. So Will not only got married this year, but won the NASPA Tonight Guest of the Year.
And
Did
the
he win any
commentator. He won the
tournaments?
commentator of the year.
And
I think he won a couple tournaments, but
wow.
man, he's on fire.
Big night for Will Anderson. And Will, one of the fun things about Will, unlike you, is that even when he was not on the show, he would always be watching the show and commenting.
Yes.
He and his lovely wife, Allison, are both fans. That's the crazy thing. Allison isn't even a Scrabble player, but she's still a fan of the show, which is amazing. So that's NASPA Tonight Guest of the Year. So, anything else to say, Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a great year. 2019 has been ripe with tournaments, drama.
Oh, Portia says Cheryl Keegan.
Cheryl Keegan.
Cheryl was a great guest. Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe on twice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, thanks to Cheryl Keegan for organizing nationals in Baltimore.
For sure.
That's going to be big. I know it's Marlon's year.
I cannot wait.
He's already on my road.
If I'm lucky enough to be working nationals again, which I think I am, there's definitely, I'm going to be pointing a camera at Marlon as much as possible. I think the fact that it's in his backyard is going to make it a really interesting nationals, as well as all the great local attractions, the easy commute to get there.
Well, depends where you're coming from, but yes.
No, well, but it's like a big hub,
okay,
right? So like, anyway,
sorry, I'm trying to get rid of this northeast notion that everyone has
listen,
about the
flights from here to Baltimore are like half the price versus New Orleans.
Really?
Right? And that's because Baltimore is more highly traveled. So anyway, I can't recommend Baltimore highly enough.
But yes, thank you for tuning in to the year in review and to the much anticipated NASPA Awards.
Absolutely.
If you want a NASPA, we'll send you your check in the mail.
I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. I want to thank my co-host, Jackson Smiley. I want to thank all of the contributors who appeared or contributed or commented or watched NASPA Tonight this year. It was this was a full year. Tonight is like the 70th episode of this show. We started it mid-2018, and then you bailed after like 30 episodes. And it's just been... I don't know. I had this idea for NASPA Tonight.
I remember that
a long time ago, and I can't believe we're 70 episodes in. So, anyway, if you want to be a part of NASPA Tonight, if you want to be a guest, if you want to suggest a topic, if you want your under-focused on region to be represented, definitely just get in contact with me. That's easy to do. And thanks again, everybody. Yeah. All right, we did it.
Have a great night.
2019. Have a great 2020.
Happy New Year.
All right. Bye. We got to end on Scrabble Cat, right?
Yeah, we end on Scrabble Cat.
Okay.
That was my one rule.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.